Tennessee Tech tickets available at 931-372-3940 or ttusports.com.
With quality brand name products at affordable wholesale prices, Cash and Carry is the perfect place to shop. Whether shopping for individual, business, churches, or more, Cash and Carry is sure to meet your needs. Cash and Carry of Cookeville, 931-528-8050.
It's homecoming at TTU. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Watson Brown Show, presented by IWC Cash and Carry. Alongside Tennessee Tech head coach Watson Brown, I'm your host, Buddy Pearson. And it's the most glorious time of the year if you're a football fan on the campus of Tennessee Tech, because it's homecoming. The Golden Eagles will host Jacksonville State on Saturday at 1:30 at Tucker Stadium. The Golden Eagles come into the contest after a tough road loss in Richmond, Kentucky against the Colonels of EKU. And, Coach, maybe a good homecoming win is just what the doctor ordered to ease some of these bumps and bruises right now.
I still think there's victories in us, buddy. We're halfway through the season, and we're playing a lot of the better teams, and we still are. Jacksonville State's still one of the better teams. Then we go to EIU and finish with the two teams that are down with us, as we didn't get to play some of the lower ones early.
Yeah.
And so it's hurt us a little bit. But I still think there's wins in us, and we're so much closer than we look, in my personal opinion. And maybe Saturday is the time that we'll put it together. Up at Eastern Kentucky, I mean, the one major piece that got us in that game was their defensive line to our offensive line. We could not control the line of scrimmage at all, run our pass, and really that was the biggest difference in the game. We've been playing against a lot of those guys for a lot of years. We're very young up front, and honestly, it showed in the game.
Yeah, and it was kind of a tale of two halves. Struggled again in the first half, but then really played much better in the second half.
We did. We hung in there. We seemed to get behind. It's happened 3 weeks in a row to us now. And really, all four conference games. We played TSU off their feet in the second half.
Yeah.
And I think we're still just a little nervous. We just don't have great poise and confidence yet. Most of that comes, I think, from the offensive side of the ball. We're not moving the ball well in first half. Defense hangs on. And then we finally get going in the second half, and it's too late.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at the first half highlights, brought to you by Wendy's Breakfast of Cookeville. It was kind of a nasty day in Richmond, Kentucky. It was cold. It had been raining really up until game time, and the Colonels came out firing on all cylinders, Coach.
Took the first drive right down the field, and again, that's not offense. Our defense let them do that. I think they made 4 third and longs on the drive. 4 in a row. They were 4 for 4 on third and long. Mistake here that we made, and got tackling the dive, didn't put anybody on the quarterback. That's too easy. So that first drive was just really an easy thing to do. We came back, got a fumble, and then got a field goal and got back to 7-3. I think that'll be coming up here in just a second.
Yeah, Marty Jones recovering the fumble there for the Tennessee Tech defense. Good job there of creating the turnover and then getting on top of the football.
Yes, drove the ball down to here after the turnover, made a big third down, I think maybe fourth down. I'm not sure. It was either third or fourth. I guess it was third down. Big slant route there that got us a first down. Take it on down the field here and end up kicking a field goal on this drive. And so late in the first quarter, the score's 7-3. The wind's blowing. It's very cool.
Yeah.
The field, the balls are very wet. It was not a offensive type day for either side, but they could run the ball better than we could, and I thought that was the difference in the game.
Zach Sharp with a 29-yard field goal, cuts it 7-3, but then Colonels come back. Jared McClain rushes for an 8-yard touchdown, puts them up 14-3 there in the second quarter.
Yes, we had another gun run issue
here.
Good fake, but we've got a guy on the quarterback that doesn't take the quarterback, and that's our freshman defensive end, Jordan Patrick, who will learn to play that a lot better as he goes.
Golden Eagles try to get something going and just right out of the hands of Malik Hall into the arms of a Colonel defender.
Malik's just got to catch that. We cannot. He's got to catch that ball. It was slightly behind him, buddy, but he's got to catch that ball. We cannot give them 3 more points. It's 14-3. Our defense does a great job right there of holding them and keeps us within 2 touchdowns at the half.
At halftime, Coach, you've been faced with this situation before. What do you tell the guys at half? You're on the road again.
Keep fighting back, and we do. That's not been our issue. We're not a give-up bunch. We're giving great effort. We're just not playing well enough to win the games. But I'm proud of the kids for they just keep fighting it every week. Offensively, we've turned into just such pups now. It's just we had 6 starters out in the game Saturday.
Wow.
And you just can't do it. Get maybe a couple, 3 of those back this week would really help us.
Yeah. Defense really shined in the second half as we check out the second half highlights brought to you by Miller Lite. Eagle defense steps up right away. Jared McClain looking to pass, and there's Corey McDonald who makes a nice interception, Coach.
Beautiful play, nice contain of the ball by Harrison Reed there, number 93. He pulled the quarterback up. I don't think he saw real well and flipped one to us right here.
McDonald makes a nice catch there. The Colonels again on defense. Second half really was a defensive struggle. On 3rd and 13, Jared McClain pass complete to Devin Borders, and or after he's sacked there by Tredarius Goff.
Yes, this was not a pressure, a blitz at all. Tredarius just saw an opening and took it and got the sack on the play. This play hurt us. We're out leveraged here. We've got it tackled again, this was a 3rd and long.
Yeah, 3rd and 13.
And we did not play that well at linebacker, and here's a reverse pass that we've got maybe the best call we could possibly have on and just don't play it well at all. So that was their only score of the second half was a trick play that, as I said, buddy, we had the perfect defense called into it.
Yeah, Hughley's there. He just got turned around.
He should be deeper. Bill Dillard should be back there also. Bill's not back in the deep third the way he should be, just not played well.
Back come the Golden Eagles. Jared Davis to Malik Hall. Good catch there for first down.
Yes, nice drive here. I think we take this one down the field and score. And I thought Jared played a very good game. He had bodies all around him all day long. This is a throw to Chris Cates, and good to see him making a few plays to help us. He had a couple of nice catches in the game. Here's the same play again that we had a nice call in the coverage that they had. We had nice protection there to where Jared could step back and had enough time to throw. And there's your final score of 24-10. Again, the difference in the game to me was that we could not run the ball, couldn't protect our quarterback well enough to move the ball, and their defensive front to our offensive front was probably the difference in this game.
And I know you tried a lot of different combinations at wide receiver and at running back, probably because you had to, but we saw a lot of different guys carry the football. Do you think somebody's going to come out eventually as the leader of that bunch?
The wide receiver issue were all injuries.
Yeah.
We kept playing. We lost Malik Hall during the game. Zach Ziegler didn't play. We lost Cody Matthews during the game. We lost Parker Teeter, our tight end, during the game. So all of those people, backups, played the whole second half.
Yeah.
Running back, we're still just trying to find the right one. We're playing 4 guys, and we just sooner or later we got to be able to settle on something here. But when you can't run the ball any better than we are, it doesn't matter what running back's out there, buddy. We really physically had a tough go with these guys up front in this game.
Yep. Well, there's only 3 other Ohio Valley Conference games being played this past Saturday. Let's go to the OVC scoreboard and take a look and see what happens. Of course, your score is brought to you by the OVC Digital Network. It was Tennessee State over UT Martin in a battle of in-state OVC foes. Ronald Butler, 11 of 19 for 160 yards and a touchdown for TSU. Jared Neal, 24 of 45, 242 yards and a touchdown. Tennessee State moves up to number 21 in the latest poll. Elsewhere, in a shootout, 88 points. Coach, you're an offensive guy. You ought to love something like that. Eastern Illinois, 55, SEMO, 33. Jimmy Garoppolo, 376 yards, 2 touchdowns. Shepard Little, 129 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. Any surprise there?
No, just that Southeast Missouri scored that many points, but you don't know how that happens.
Right.
There can be a lot of things. I know there was a kickoff return for a touchdown. They could have been late in the game when they were put away by Eastern Illinois. You don't know, but all I keep watching is the number of points that EIU puts up every week. I think they're averaging in the 50s right now, and I think somebody told me they moved to second in the country.
Yeah, they have moved up to number 2. Any surprise there on TSU going to Martin and beating Skyhawks?
No, I said it when we played TSU, and here on the show I said that there's only going to be one team that can play with TSU in this league this year. they play each other this week. EIU and TSU play.
Wow, that'll be a great game.
This is by far the best TSU team that I've played.
Elsewhere in the OVC, it was Murray State over the Governors of Austin Peay, 31-3. Tim Phillips, 26 carries, 123 yards for the Governors. McKeel Miller, 19 of 22, 160 yards and a touchdown. Jamal Berry had 146 yards and 2 touchdowns there for the Racers. As we take a look at the standings, there you go, your top 2 teams, TSU and Eastern Illinois, on a collision course for this Saturday in Nashville. Should be a barn burner of a game. Murray State, Eastern Kentucky still hoping that they are in the race.
Yeah, and I think you see that you've got the bottom 3 of us that are still struggling. We've got the most wins of the bottom 3, and they're not conference wins, but we've had some very good non-conference wins. But the top teams are all really good this year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them and we've already played, I think, 4 of those 6. So we're playing all the top schools. We finished with SEMO and Austin Peay at the end of the year, buddy. If we can find a way to knock Jacksonville State off, there's still that chance of getting to 6-6 out of this, and there's still a lot left to play for here.
Yeah, most certainly. I mean, like you said, 6-6 is in a 12-game schedule with the injuries and the things that you've had.
Well, and the young team that we've got, I would be very pleased with that, but that's a long way away. We've got a lot of wins to get to that.
Yeah. Well, stick around. We've got more Watson Brown Show coming your way. We're going to take your Twitter questions, plus we're going to see our popular segment, Where Have They Landed? You won't want to miss that. Stay with us. There's more Watson Brown Show coming up.
Tennessee Tech tickets available at 931-372-3940 or ttusports.com.
Welcome back to the Watson Brown Show, presented by IWC Cash and Carry, alongside Tennessee Tech head coach Watson Brown. I'm your humble host, Buddy Pearson, and now it's time for our Golden Eagle Player Profile, brought to you by IWC Cash and Carry. This week, we hear from defensive back Jimmy Laughlin.
I'm Jimmy Laughlin. I play nickelback, number 23, and I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. Well, I mean, I just went up one day to my parents. I said, I want to play football, and I think they were kind of taken back by that. I was kind of a smaller kid back then, or kind of skinny. I was kind of, lanky kid. So, they were more worried for me. But they never, they were always encouraging of me. They never told me not to. So I think that was a big part of me, getting to play and growing up playing. So I'd say my parents and just generally my family as a whole, I can remember the first day, I played, first day of practice, I hated it. I was getting beat up, and it was, just not fun for me at all. And I remember going home, telling them I didn't want to play anymore, and they just told me, just go back tomorrow, see how it goes. I went, from then on, I started loving it. It's been awesome. It's a great experience coming and playing here. I had a lot of former teammates from high school playing here, which was good for me coming in and getting adjusted and adapted and stuff. So, but it's everything I could have asked for. The biggest thing that I've been trying to improve on was my pass rushing. Before this year, I was playing safety, and all through high school, I've never been even within like 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. So coming down, taking on offensive linemen and learning how to rush around them has been a big part of me, just learning through fall camp and everything. Coach Brown has been a big influence on me. He's a very, he's always the first one to, tell you did a good job. He's always going to get on to you if you do wrong. But, he's just been very supportive, and that's helped me out a lot. I'm Jimmy Laughlin.
Coach, seems like Jimmy Laughlin's a pretty tough kid. We've seen him make some pretty big hits so far this season.
And he is going to have a great career here. This is his first year to start as a up front kind of guy, but he has the athletic ability to drop into space, rush the passer, much bigger than you think he is. He's a 6'2.5", 220, 25-pound kid, and there's a lot of linebackers in this league playing at that size. So we're very fortunate to have Jimmy here. He had some good places to go, and I'm glad he picked Tennessee Tech.
Ah, most definitely. Well, it's time now to go inside Golden Eagle football, brought to you by Pepsi. This week, we take a look at the preparation on game day. Let's take a look.
On a Saturday night game at 7 o'clock, we would come in on Friday evening, and we would probably start with, we'd get all our trailers, our equipment truck down there, and then we would block off parking, and then we would go ahead and set our ticket lines out for the fans and all that, and then we would go to the inside of the stadium, and we would blow off the track while someone would be grooming the football field, and then we would start setting out the white fences on the corners, setting up the sideline, the bleachers, picking up trash, making sure everything looks good and clean. We'd probably go ahead and throw the 6 flags up on the north and south end zones. That would probably be all we do on a Friday night. Then, of course, we'd come in early on Saturday, and we would set up the stage trailer in Tailgate Park and everything in Tailgate Park. We'd start setting up some tents. We would put up the inflatable helmet. Then we would set our fly guys out. Everybody always loves those. Make sure everything's got fuel and gassed up for everyone to run around on the mules. Then we would probably go inside the stadium again, make sure everything's blew off, looks good and clean. Set up the deflatable tunnel, pick up trash again. And then Tailgate Park would open up at 4, and we'd make sure the team buses get parked. Make sure the band, we always lead the band into Tailgate Park, make sure the cheerleaders are out of the way for when the band gets there. It all pretty much comes down to time management. Like, we have a list and we set out time list in the press box, the officials visiting the home team locker rooms, that way everybody's on the same schedule. And then we just get ready for the game. We talk to the officials, we meet with them, make sure they're good with the ref pack and all that's working good. We meet with the CSC staff, make sure they know where all they're stationed. We meet with the tech officers, make sure everyone's good there. And like I said, we just get ready. Tailgate Park opens 3 hours before. We make sure people are stationed, let people in and out, check the list. And then we just, whatever happens, there's always different stuff happens during the game. People get hurt in the crowd, somebody falls. We just have to be there and make sure they're okay, get police reports, all that good stuff.
And Coach, everybody sees what you and the team does on game day, but these guys, I mean, they really put in a lot of hours and work hard behind the scenes.
Man, from Friday through the game, it's really hard work in a very small crew. So these guys are doing a lot of different things. Mark Wilson, our athletic director, gets involved also and does a lot of the leg work pieces, and but they do a great job. It's a class operation, and I'm very proud of the way the stadium looks and the accessibility for the fans and the way the Tailgate Park's grown, buddy.
Yeah.
Things have just changed so much here in the last 6 years. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I can only imagine how fun it's going to be this Saturday, too, for homecoming. We'll talk more about that. But right now it's time for one of our more popular segments, Where Have They Landed?, sponsored by FCS Football. You know, Tennessee Tech has cranked out a lot of professional athletes over the years, and right now there's a particular golfer whose PGA stock is on the rise, and his name is Scott Stallings. Let's take a look.
I was a pretty good high school player. I kind of was a late bloomer, I guess to say, and it was Tech was the last place I ever thought I was going to be, and now after being here, I couldn't imagine have gone anywhere else. I mean, I've told the story 100 times. I'd put all my hopes and dreams of going to Tennessee, especially growing up in East Tennessee and Knoxville, and when that didn't work out, I didn't really know where I was going to go, and I'd committed to Chattanooga, and all my guys up here that are now my best friends in the world called me and asked me to come on kind of a last-minute visit. I met Coach Nichols, and I changed my mind by the time I left. And I liked the family atmosphere. I liked the fact that all the guys took me in and treated me like a little brother. And now is the best decision I ever made, and it was definitely a big part of helping me where I am today. Kind of the course of my time here, especially from my freshman and sophomore year, and definitely my sophomore junior year, Coach Nichols definitely instilled upon me a sense of responsibility as far as to lead the team by example and lead the team by work ethic and kind of making sure that I did everything I possibly could to become the best player I could possibly be while I was here. And that was something I took to heart, and it's something that I made sure that every single day that that's the way I went about whether it was practice, whether it was working out, whether it was school, whatever it was. And it's kind of the same mentality I have today. The process of getting to the PGA Tour and playing golf for a living is something that a lot goes into it, but a lot comes out of it. An opportunity to showcase your talent
on the best course in the world against the best players in the world is a dream come true, and to do it over the course of the last few years has been something that, I mean, it's been all worth it. The hard work, the doing what, doing the little things that go a long way, and doing the things that no one sees. And you don't really feel like you're getting full credit for it because you're doing it. You're not doing it to prove a point. You're not doing it to show people how hard you work. You're doing it because it's going to help you get better. And that's the gratifying part, teeing it up in big events, with the best players, and knowing that, hey, I've put forth the effort to get me here is something that, obviously it was difficult, but it's well worth it. I'm Scott Stallings, and that's where I landed.
I wouldn't mind landing on a golf course like Scott Stallings has, but you know what, Coach? I had the opportunity to cover him when he was here. Covered him at the PGA Championship, the Masters, and to celebrating his victories. But here's somebody who's gone out, he's made millions of dollars, but he hasn't forgotten where he's from, and he's come back and he's given back to the university.
You can see that in that interview. Very sincere guy. I want to get to know him. I do not know Scott, but I really am looking forward to getting to know him, and very proud of what he's done.
Let's see if we can get him on our scramble team this year.
That'd be pretty good. Think they'd let us do that at the football?
Hey, it's your scramble. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I know. That could be a little dangerous, though. We'd take him, wouldn't we?
We would take him in a heartbeat.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hey, Coach is going to take your Twitter questions coming up in just a little bit. Plus, we're going to talk about the homecoming contest with Jacksonville State. We got more Watson Brown show, so stay with us.
Tennessee Tech tickets available at 931-372-3940 or ttusports.com.
Hey, welcome back to the Watson Brown Show, presented by IWC Cash and Carry. It's time now for Twitter questions from you, the fans. And if you want to tweet a question to Coach Brown, you can do it at TTU Golden Eagles. And, of course, this segment is brought to you by ttusports.com. Coach.
Don't you like our tweet?
I do. Our first Twitter question for you is Demario Donnell the hardest hitter on defense?
One of them. We've got a lot of hard hitters. Jimmy Laughlin, Bill Dillard, Trey Goff, Jay Rudwall is a very good hitter. Harrison Reed. We've got a lot of tough kids on our defensive team, and all those names I named are all sophomores or freshmen. So.
Yeah, and we saw Jimmy Laughlin make some pretty big hits too.
Big. Jimmy Laughlin's one of our better hitters.
On that segment.
But DeMario is a tough kid.
Yeah. Another Twitter question here. How does Marty Jones make so many tackles even on running plays?
Our system's made to where our two safeties and our two linebackers, if you go back and look the last 4 years, every year it's the two safeties and the two linebackers. Austin Talent has led us a couple of times. He played free safety where Marty plays. We moved him up to strong safety. So Marty's a good tackler, but he's also in the position to make these tackles by the design of our defense.
He also leads the OVC in tackles right now. So
and it's not just because they're breaking the line of scrimmage. We have him down in the box a lot where he is a tackler.
Yeah. Well, it's time to turn our attention now to this week's opponent, and that is the Gamecocks of Jacksonville State, who come to Cookeville for homecoming. Kickoff is 1:30 on Saturday at Tucker Stadium. And Coach, you hear it over and over again. Is homecoming a distraction to your team? Does it really get you out of the flow with all the activities and everything that's going on?
No, I don't think so. Most times we don't let the teams get really involved in a lot of campus things. They're very focused on the game, and they just don't have the time to get away and do that. I do think that there's more into the homecoming. They look forward to playing on homecoming. The crowd is very supportive. It's usually one of our larger crowds, and I think all my teams look forward to homecoming. And
you pick a pretty tough opponent, Jacksonville State, Coach. The Gamecocks, very exciting game at home last year.
Oh, it was a great game last year. We had a 12-point lead in the fourth quarter and lost to Rick Rogers in the fourth quarter, and then really struggled moving the ball from that point on. And Trey Lamb was already gone. This was Darian Stone's second start, I believe, of the season. But the Jacksonville State is Jacksonville State. That's all I can tell you. Always always one of the teams with the better athletes in the league. Always really good on defense and a power running offense. And I think they're second in the conference in rushing to TSU this year, and they're very high in defensive stats. So, but it's always fun to play these guys. We've beat them 2 of the last 3 and had them beat last year.
Yeah.
So we've we have played very well against them. They have a new coaching staff now. And
I was just going to say, they've got a different look. You know, you always used to seeing Jack Crow ever since they came into the league. Jack Crow has been on the sidelines, whether you love him or hate him. A lot of times we hate him, but, you know, it's just now.
We miss Jack. We don't have a guy to yell at.
We don't have anybody to yell at or blame things on, but, you know, now with a new coach, still though, a lot of the same system still in place.
It's a lot of the same players that played in last year's game. The quarterback's gone, but all the tailbacks are back. Some of those great wide receivers are gone. Most of the defense is back. So it's a very strong Jacksonville State team. They've been in the top 25. They're getting votes for the top 25 as we speak.
Yeah, and at 1-2, kind of a team that's surprisingly at 1-2 right now.
Yeah, but they also lost to TSU, which I think is one of the best teams in the league. They lost at home to Murray, which I know they're very disappointed in. But we went to Murray, and we felt like we had a chance to win that game. And you were there, and you saw it, and know we had a chance to win. That's why I think we got a chance to beat Jacksonville State.
Well, Coach, we certainly wish you the best of luck for homecoming. Certainly want to invite everybody out to Tucker Stadium. Of course, the tailgate park will be open. You've got the parade. We've got the Hall of Fame dinner on Friday night. Lots of activities going on for homecoming as the Golden Eagles take on Jacksonville State this Saturday at Tucker Stadium. You want to be a part of it. If not, you can listen to the broadcast on KISS 98.5 FM. For head coach Watson Brown, I'm Buddy Pearson. We'll see you next week on The Watson Brown Show.
The Watson Brown Show has been brought to you by IWC Cash and Carry, Wendy's Breakfast in Cookeville, Miller Lite, and Pepsi.
With quality brand name products at affordable wholesale prices, Cash and Carry is the perfect place to shop. Whether shopping for individual, business, churches, or more, Cash and Carry is sure to meet your needs. Cash and Carry of Cookeville, 931-528-8050.